Hello, and welcome back to Use It or Lose It, where I help you keep food out of the landfill and get every penny from your food dollar. Well, as previously mentioned, I'm moving, so I'm about a month away. And what does this mean? It means I have to try and use up everything in the pantry, in the fridge, as much as possible because I hate throwing food away. Obviously, I'm going to offer it up to my neighbors, but whatever they don't take, out it goes. So today I am using up some zucchini I had in the drawer, some mushrooms, and I had taken a couple of cans of tomatoes and made a sort of a rustic tomato sauce because I don't want to buy a whole jar of tomato sauce when I may not be able to use it up in the coming time frame. So I just made some of my own and it got rid of 2 cans. Yay me. So what we're going to make today is kind of a creamy tomato zucchini casserole kind of thing. I'm kind of cobbling it together from a couple of different recipe ideas, but you know, with the full intention of using up foodstuffs and including like a block of cream cheese. What the heck, you know? That's gonna go bad before a month anyway, so since I have no bagels. Anyhow, so we're gonna get started today. I have my ingredients all prepped. So we have zucchini that's been quartered, about 1/4 inch slice. I have, I don't know, five or six baby Bella mushrooms. I have the tomato sauce I made. I have cream cheese. I have garlic. I have mozzarella. Wine, because you know how I love to thin that cream cheese with wine to kind of cut the fattiness of the cream cheese and make a great cream sauce. And panko breadcrumbs, because we're going to put that on top and bake it all off. Okay, so we're going to get started by sauteing our zucchini. I'm going to add the garlic. I already oiled the pan with olive oil, and it's already heated up because hot pan, cold food. So we're going to get that started. I'm going to add the mushrooms and garlic a little later once the zucchini has a chance to soften up because we don't want that stuff to get overcooked. So I'm just going to flip it around, and while that's cooking, because the idea is when it goes in the oven, you just want to, you know, get the flavors to meld. All the ingredients will be cooked, but it's about getting it all, you know, not so soupy and stuff. Okay, so we're going to get started on our creamy sauce, creamy tomato sauce. So I'm going to take about 1/2 of this bar of Neufchâtel, which is a nice fancy way of saying reduced fat cream cheese. About 1/2 of that. Yeah, that ought to do. Get out of there. Cut it up into a few pieces so it'll melt faster. And always put a little liquid in the pot rather than just dumping the cream cheese in directly. So a couple of glugs. And we're going to put that in there. And I'm going to add the, once it's pretty well melted, then I'll add the tomato sauce and the mozzarella. And why am I adding mozzarella? Because I got to use that up too. You know, it's all about using up the stuff. Now, this would be good as a side dish, of course, because we are going to top it with panko breadcrumbs, so it's, you know, kind of a side. But I also think it's going to be really good on top of pasta, kind of like a sauce, you know, a vegetable sauce. for spaghetti. I may use spaghetti squash for that, but hey, I gotta use up pasta, so that's probably gonna be the format. Okay. Let's get that going. And here's the tomato sauce that I made. I froze it up into half-cup portions in my handy-dandy seal-a-meal. So this is, you know, ready to pour in. Okay. This is going well. It's almost time to add the garlic and the mushrooms. I'm going to lower the heat a little because I should have started the cream sauce first, since that does take a little longer. But it's starting to bubble, so that's a good sign. Not that there's anything wrong with the zucchini sitting while I make the cream sauce. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I am now going to add my mushrooms and the garlic, because we're going with this nice Italian flavor profile, and I'm going to add Italian seasoning to my cream sauce, so that'll get distributed evenly throughout. I'm going to hit this with a little salt, always. Tell you what, I'm going to come back in a few minutes when all the elements are ready to put together, so stay tuned. Or maybe I should do like in Bewitched. Okay, and we're back. So, actually the cream sauce came together a little faster than I thought it would, but that's okay. So now I've got my nicely sauteed zucchini, mushroom, and garlic. I underdid the zucchini just a little bit because they're going to finish cooking in the oven, which I've set to 350. So here's our creamy tomato sauce. Always a challenge to get you to see it without dumping it out everywhere. So I added about a half a cup of mozzarella. I added a little bit more wine, some salt. I tasted it. It's pretty good. Now, some of you, if you like the flavor of sun-dried tomatoes, that would be a great add-in at this point. Me, I'm kind of on the fence about that. It's definitely an earthy flavor, so, you know, make sure you like it. But I decided to leave them out, even though I have a jar lurking in the fridge because so many recipes call for them, and I fell for that. Anyhow, so here's our 8.5 by 11 pan. I'm going to dump my cream sauce in there. So I think putting that in first will make it a little easier to mix it all up. So hopefully I have the right amount of sauce for the vegetables. I think so. Because you don't want it swimming in sauce. You definitely want it to be enrobed. Okay, so let's just try and get every little bit. And when mixing your cream sauces, always, especially when you're doing the Shane Cheater trick of using cream cheese, make sure you use a whisk, because that'll help get the lumps out. Because there's always lumps. Let's just make sure we get all of that good stuff in there. Okay. There we go. And now in go the veg. Whoop! Man overboard. One of them jumped out. Just throw that back in. Okay, so here we go. Try not to get the cooking liquid in there because you don't want it to be soupy. So just be a little careful when you're transferring it from the pan not to get too much of the juice, even though it's juicy goodness. Has all that mushroom flavor in it. But if I were inclined to you know, actually save stuff at this point, I would throw that in an ice cube tray. But anyhow, all right, we're just going to make sure that gets all mixed up. Looks like I actually have more sauce than I need, but c'est la vie. We're going ahead anyway. Ugh, it smells really good. Just make sure that the vegetables are evenly distributed in here. All right. So I'm going to go heavy on the panko since this is definitely juicier than what I anticipated. I keep my, you know, I buy it in bulk and keep it in a container. And I got to use this up too, so all the more reason to put a heavy hand. Look at that, I just used up all my panko. One less thing to pack. And, you know, so often they tell you to, you know, mix your crumbs with butter before topping it for the oven for very good reasons, because that kind of keeps it from burning and gets it golden brown and all that. But I use, you know how I always like to save calories, so I just hit it with some cooking spray. And be careful because it will blow your crumbs around, so just be aware. Okay, that's good. All right, so into the oven it goes. It's going to be in for, I don't know, 20-25 minutes, something to that effect. So when it's ready, I'll bring it out and I'll be back. And oh, let's try that again. And we're back. So here it is, hot out of the oven. Look at that. Those panko crumbs, golden brown, thanks to the cooking spray. So we're going to give it a little taste. It's very bubbly, very hot. So tread lightly. Just going to take a little corner here. So just so you can see. So here it is, steaming hot. I've got a little bit of sauce, a little bit of zucchini, a little bit of panko. This is definitely, pardon me, this is definitely going to be great mixed with pasta because it's definitely very saucy, a little saucier than what you might want for a casserole, but that's okay. I'm probably going to pair this with a baked piece of chicken and throw it on top. So it's absolutely delicious. So this is what you can do when you're trying to use up stuff in your pantry. You know, just think about, okay, I've got a couple of cans of tomatoes. I can make tomato sauce. I have some panko to use up. I have some zucchini to use up. In hindsight, I would have used 3 zucchini instead of just 2 because that would have evened out the soupiness. But it's still delicious, either as a side or a casserole. If you're vegetarian, man, you can make a meal off of this. So, absolutely delicious. And that's it for today. And I'll see you next time. And I really mean it, probably next time will be from my new kitchen. So, see you then. Bye.